What's up, my crypto legends? In this episode, we're taking a look at the Bitcoin price because it looks like that we're having a pretty aggressive drop, okay? And we could come to much lower levels. Now, I'm still relatively bullish in the mid-term, but we're going to analyze the situation in the short term. And I do see some similarities here from back of May and June. We could see some slight volatility to the downside. We are also 2 days away from the end of the year, and I think they are trying to push the price down because of tax purposes, and this is only my conclusion. We're going to analyze the situation here on the daily chart also to find out where the strongest supports are and where we could potentially go sideways. So make sure to stay tuned in this episode. Hello there, Andy here. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoinsensus YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe daily to own Bitcoin, crypto, also to live streams to connect with the community. Not financial advisor, don't buy, sell anything that I say, guys. Now, the price is dropping massively here, as you can see, for the last couple of days. Everyone's a little bit worried, this is the end already. Now, it's what usually happens, right? When you see the price pumping $2,000 or $3,000, then we enter a bull market. If it dumps $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, we're entering a bear market. Now, this is the kind of situation that we have here, in the crypto space. We do see a lot of bears and bulls jumping at the same time on Twitter, and it's pretty entertaining. Now, I'm going to stick to my kind of mid-term prediction where we, could hit lower levels, all right? We could hit the low 40k levels and then have a pretty solid bounce from this range. Now, as you can see, we did get massively rejected here. This was just yesterday, right over these levels. We kind of created a double top, an M pattern. We broke the support, and now we are continuing to the downside. Now, what usually happens after this kind of consolidation, people get extremely bullish, such as me, when you do break these lower high major resistance, okay, zones right there. We broke it pretty nicely. Volume was okay. What is happening right now is that potentially we are going to come down and retest these major resistance levels, turning them into support in the next coming hours and days. We could see some volatility breaking these lows, maybe not as low as the drop that we did have on the 4th of December. Now, well, we could hit those levels in the next coming days. Not too worried about that, okay? I have closed my position on Bybit. The one that I entered at 46.5k, I closed just a few hours ago at a very, very small profit because I can see this situation happening, which is very, very similar to the situation that happened here back in May and June, where we do have a very high volume right over here on the capitulation phase. And we also have some pretty high volume on the massive drop that we had on the 4th of December. Now, we are breaking a little bit of, this structure here from this downtrend, major resistance, and people are getting a little bit too bullish, before we know it. And this does very much remind me of this phase over here where we were hitting that 41k levels. People were getting a little bit too bullish because we were breaking here this lower high major resistance. And then we had a small, drop here. Well, a pretty big drop, retesting the lows right over here. So I do see a very similar scenario here happening for Bitcoin. I'm not sure if it's going to play out, but I think it is very, very likely where everyone thinks that we are bottomed out right over here and we are potentially just going to slightly dip below this major range, all right, in the next coming days or potentially a couple of weeks before we actually see a potential strong reversal. So that is in the cards for me right now where, I see too many people getting bullish very, very quickly, and I'm including myself here, guys. And basically what I see is potential retests below these ranges, okay? So I'm talking about 45 and between 40k and 45k levels. I'm not going to say any exact level, but some volatility at that range before we potentially see a very strong bounce, in January, because I think the year is going to end a little bit of it slightly bearish, all right? We could see some bounces, but overall, I think they're going to try and push the price down as low as possible for the end of the year. Now, what we can see also on the daily is this major support level, okay? Like I showed you also with volume profile, we do have massive peaks here, and these are peaks of consolidation. We have consolidation here in between 30k and 40k. We have consolidation here in between, 44k and 50k, 51k right there, as you can see here on the chart. So I do also believe that, you know, this range is still going to be a pretty solid level thanks because of the VPVR. It's just going to be an accumulation zone with a little bit of volatility to the downside before we actually pop up. Now, guys, you know I was a strong believer here looking at the VPVR that the low 30k levels was going to hold very, very nicely. It actually did, but we did dip down to 29, even 28k levels when we were getting a little bit worried. So my ultimate low bottom is 41, 40k levels looking at the VPVR and looking at these mountains. But you could also have that kind of volatility that we did have back here in May. As you can see, we saw the lows here with high volume. We got these lows with high volume. Nothing got to do with this volume, but it is still very, very high compared from the other months. Now, what I think is potentially going to happen is we might see in the next coming days, all right? And this would be the most bearish case scenario for me if we do not, you know, find a floor very, very soon, is that we might see some volatility spiking below the drop here with high volume, just very similar price action like what happened here back in May and June. As you can see, where you slightly dip, you enter a massive accumulation zone, and this is potentially what could happen, in my opinion, in the next coming weeks, guys, days, weeks. So that is just a quick update, guys. Make sure to subscribe. I'll be doing a live stream. We'll be analyzing the market. So make sure to subscribe. We'll be taking a look at Bitcoin, the S&P 500, breaking all-time highs. I strongly believe there will be a reversal, guys. If the stock markets go up, I think Bitcoin will follow. Bitcoin and crypto mainly will follow, guys. Bitcoin is just lagging behind the stock market like I showed you on yesterday's video. Make sure to check out the Bitcoinsensus website. We have the latest news and technical analysis here posted every single day, so you can analyze the situation. Check out my Bybit and PrimeXBT tutorial to learn how to trade on those platforms, guys. Be careful with the leverage. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.